John 8:32, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. I had to get all the way honest with myself in a way that felt like a betrayal. 9 times out of 9, you are the reason why it happened. Be it good or be it negative. You are the common denominator. And I'm not talking about catastrophe, unforeseen circumstances, an act of God. I'm not talking about that. Those are special circumstances, and the rain falls on the just and the unjust. I'm talking about when you are in a whole life pickle. You don't like how things are going. You don't like the trajectory you're on. You don't like how much money is in your bank account. You don't like who's in your life. You don't like where you live. You name the scenario. Something is going awry, and the common denominator is you. And so I had to accept that, and I had to allow that to empower me. How does it empower me? Because I realized that as long as I was an integral piece of the problem, I would also be the leading champion of the solution. That's where it started with me. What did radical honesty look like? It honestly, it sounded like me being my biggest hater. Like, no, you don't want to lose weight, Maria. You don't, because if you did, you would. No, you don't want to make more money, Maria. Because last time I checked, you're doing just enough to not get fired, and they're paying you just enough to not quit. You don't want to be in a healthy relationship, Maria. Because every time you pick somebody, they're a great almost, not exactly what you know you need. That was a horse pill to swallow. I had to start there. I had to start with telling myself that all those narratives weren't true. Because if they were true, if you really wanted the life that you say you want, you would have it. You would take the steps. Because the path illuminates itself when you're in direction. But you have to be in the right direction. Once you shift into a mode of self-fulfillment, of self-realization, of saying, hey, I am going to commit myself so that every day is better than the last. That tomorrow I work out harder than I did today. Tomorrow I eat even better than I did today. Once you decide to raise your standards, your life will bend to your will and God's will. Because God, that's what God wants for us. He wants us to be on that trajectory of creating the best version of ourselves. But it starts at being radically honest. It starts at saying, hey, you know what? Whoops. I wasn't keeping it real with myself. But now I'm ready. You got this. You got this. Start with that honesty. It's gonna hurt. You may even cry. And the best part about the radical honesty is you only have to be honest with yourself. You don't have to write a letter to your family. Start here. Change here. Pray there. Subscribe for your daily dose of encouragement, and go be great.